Happy Friday, Angel fam. Welcome back to my channel. It's me, your girl Shyla, here with another video. I hope that you guys all had an amazing week. I hope that everyone had an amazing 4th of July. All my friends up to the north, I hope that you had a fantastic Canada Day. And I hope that you guys are ready to have a fantastic weekend and then tackle another week next week. Today, we are going to be doing a little bit different of a video. Today, we're going to be doing a life update video. Before we get going though, take a second, like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell button, that way you're notified whenever I post a new video. If you're new here, I post every Monday, every Friday, occasionally I'll post on a Wednesday, or sometimes I just won't get around to it, but with the bell button turned on, you will be notified whenever I post a new video. So today's video might end up kind of long, it might end up kind of boring, so grab something to drink and we will get right into the video. And I'm going to be talking about my life update. I'm going to be talking about things that have been going on for the past year and just where I'm at, and it's not going to be entirely all positive, so forewarning you guys ahead of time, there could be some negativity in the video. I thought about just trying to focus on the positive things and keep it uplifting, but I really want to be honest with you guys and talk to you about some things, you know, and give you the 411 and the down low. Is that even a thing anymore? Give you the 411? Anyway, and give you the down low about what's been going on in my life and, you know, just real life. Give you like real life experiences during this transition and during everything. It's not going to be necessarily based on me being transgender and transitioning, but there's going to be a lot included in this that has to do with that. So the first thing that we are going to talk about is we're going to jump right into this video. We're going to talk about work and trying to find work and etc, etc, etc. So I'm going to be very careful about this convo and not talk about where I used to work specifically, so I don't get into any legal issues with them. But as we all know, and if those of you that didn't know, I have worked in the car business for about 17 years, and the last 13 of which I worked as a finance manager at a car dealership. For those of you that don't know what finance management is, we are the people that you end up hating that go over your final paperwork with you, that offer you warranties, offer you protection, also the ones that get your deals approved with the bank, that if you're mean to, I don't know why you would be mean to the finance person and then ask them to try to get you a lower rate. Anyway, I'm digressing. I've been doing that for like the longest time. It's something that I'm good at, it's something I excel at, and it's something that I thought I would be doing for a long time because it was my chosen career. But then, you know, I figured out that I was transgender and I decided to transition. So I decided to transition and, you know, I kind of had an idea how things were going to go. I hoped that it wouldn't go that way, but based on the experiences I had and the comments that were made and the type of people that I knew that I worked with, and more importantly, the people who owned the dealership that I worked at, I actually had a pretty good idea how things were going to eventually go. And it was a very big decision for me as to whether or not I was going to just try to stifle it and live out my life and whatnot. But there was, once I figured out that, you know, what it was I was feeling inside, there was no stifling Shyla. She was coming out. Anyway, so to make a long story short, so I did that and I ended up not working there anymore. Let's just put it that way. And it actually happened about last August. So I've been unemployed for like a year. Now I had money saved up and I had my money in my 401k and I had my retirement. So I was good, and I kind of looked for a job a little when I first stopped working there. I didn't really put too much effort into it because I knew I was having my surgery in February. And I kind of wish everything would have played out longer than it did, so I would have had a less amount of time that I wasn't working before my surgery, but it didn't, and that's life. That's how life is. So I kind of didn't get into it too deep into looking for a job because I knew I was going to be having the surgery. I knew I was going to need to take a month and a half off work. And I didn't want to start a new job and be like, hey, by the way, I have this major surgery planned in February, so I'm going to need, you know, like a month and a half off after I have my, you know, for my surgery. And I get that. I just started here. If you get a job, the kind of job that I work, kind of stumbled there. The kind of job that I work is not one of those jobs where there's a bunch of people to fill in for you. There is generally like 2 or 3 that work at the dealership, and And especially if you work at a dealership with only a couple of you, it's not a type of job where you could just take a month and a half off and people can fill in for you because there's only 2 of you. Anyway, I'm digressing. So I decided I would just, wait until after my surgery and kind of look for a job then. So that's what I did, and I am not going to lie, I had nightmares about it. I had sleepless nights. I had nights where I had bad dreams, the nightmares that I couldn't find a job afterwards, and that I ended up, broke, and let's call them premonitions. So fast forward now. So after my surgery, after I started looking for work again, I started looking for work again, and now we're going to get into where I live. Where I live in Reno, no matter how much it tries to be progressive, is still a good old boy country town where it is pretty much one of the worst places to live if you are a transgender person and you're transitioning. Because it is pretty much impossible to just, especially if they knew you from before, to just live as a girl, because everybody knows each other and everybody talks to each other and everybody feels it's their job to tell each other, especially in business, that you're transgender. And this goes back to another film that I made a while ago. Then they're looking at you as whether or not you're just going to be a potential lawsuit, a video that I made a while ago about transitioning at work. They're looking at you whether or not you're going to be a potential lawsuit, especially because the business owners are generally old school country men. No offense to country people. I love my country music. I love my country boys. But they're basically old school, closed-minded, are not into any of the transgender or LGBT or any of that. No matter how much they try to say that they're open-minded, they're not. They're closed-minded, and they all talk and they all tell each other about everything. So with that being said, I have pretty much been Kaepernicked, yes, I use that as a verb, out of the car business. And I found that out, I thought it was just in finance, but I found that out when I swallowed my pride recently because times are getting hard, and I tried to apply for a job as a salesperson at a car dealership and was given some really, really bad excuse as to why they wouldn't hire me. And dealerships are always hiring salespeople that have a lot of experience. They want experienced salesmen to sell them cars and make them money. So if you're experienced and you have a ton of time in the car business and you get some excuse, especially if you're really good at it like I was, if you get some excuse as to them not hiring you, I mean, it's pretty obvious. And for those of you that don't know, I'm assuming we all know what Kaepernick means. It basically means you've been ostracized out of a place that you're good at, doing something that you're good at, because of how other people view you and because of their own personal thoughts on things. So I tried looking for work outside the car business. It's been a whole thing. I've been looking for work outside the car business. I've been feeling so lost, not knowing if I want to stay in the car business, even though that's what I'm good at. But I have applied at like I had lots of interviews at like Bank of America, which I'm going to talk about here. And it was a position as a banker, which is basically the same exact thing that I've been doing for the last 13 years. You are the person that they talk to in the bank, offers them products, tries to sell them stuff, tries to make them, get more things, get more packages, get more investments into the bank, and to get more things. I don't exactly know how it works to make the bank money. I just know that it does. I know how it works in the car dealership. So it's basically the same thing I was doing. And in the final interview I got with the area manager, I let slip that I was transgender. And after that point, I got called back by the HR department, actually emailed. They didn't even call me back, and told that they were looking at another person for the position. Okay, and whatever, maybe someone had experience actually in a bank, because I worked in the car dealership, so I get that. So I messaged them back, and when I saw another position opening, at the same exact position at a different branch, I asked them about it, and I was put down for not eligible for this position at any branch, but told that if there was another position that I felt my skills would work for, that I should apply for that. That's literally the only position in a bank that I think that my skills in the car dealership would translate over to, because it's exactly the same. So there was that. That was Bank of America. I guess it is what it is. I have been applying for jobs in Minnesota. which is where my son wants to move to go to school. So we might be moving to Minnesota soon. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to be doing all that. Right now I'm just taking it day by day. Everything has been a struggle, and you know, it comes down to, you know, putting it day by day is once you've been unemployed for so long, you know, you have to start thinking about bills, you have to start thinking about paying rent, and everything is an absolute struggle. And I've been desperately trying to get out of Reno because it's like such a bad place here to live. I'm not going to say that I'm homeless yet, but I guess we'll see what happens. Anyway, we're digressing way down the road. Next I want to talk about, I did, and I posted about it, I was going to go back to school to try to get my esthetician license. I had planned to do that. I was going to go to Milan Institute, and I had been signing up for financial aid, but it was like a whole thing for financial aid because they were looking at my income over the last 3 years, which is what I made at the car dealership, which was a lot, as opposed to me not making anything now, but they wanted to go off of what I was making. So they were trying to get exceptions. The girls there were really great. I thought that would be a good career for me if I could get my esthetician license, and then I could kind of go anywhere with it. And it's something that I enjoy, something that I'm into, which is beauty. And I had when school was about to start, I had a job interview, and for an in-dealership insurance person at Toyota. I thought that it was going to turn into something, so I decided to not go to school because I was going to be needed for nighttime hours, and it did not end up panning out. So I ended up not doing the school thing and not getting the job. So I guess that's kind of what it is there. I mean, you know, it was another decision. I thought I was making the right decision, being responsible and not going to school, and instead leaving myself available for that job, but I ended up not getting the job. Tried to call the guy back and he never responded. So I don't know. Who knows? It's back to a car dealership thing, and all the car dealership people talk, and maybe they were talking amongst each other. So who even knows at that point? Because he didn't call me back, so I couldn't get an answer as to what the problem was. So that is kind of a little overview of things that have been going on. I have been doing my best to try to focus on my workouts and my social media, but there comes a time when you can only focus on the positives for so long before the negatives start trying to overwhelm you. So I realize that this isn't my normal, happy, cheerful video, but I mean, this is just the reality of life. I wanted to keep it real with you guys, let you guys know what's going on. I hope that it wasn't too boring. I might be leaving Reno soon. My backdrop might change soon because I might not be here much longer. I might be moving to Minnesota soon. We will see what happens. Obviously not going to move to Minnesota without some kind of job. But that's my life update. I hope that it came out good. I'll watch it back when I'm done here and see if I like it. Hopefully I do. Other than that, you guys, I hope that you guys like this. I hope that you guys liked the video. I hope I didn't get too personal or too negative, and I will see you guys back on Monday with another video. Love you all.